All right, good morning, viewers out there. It's a thing of joy to have you join us on this morning edition of Insightful Morning Show. I remain your host, Mr. Akko Christian Oche, otherwise known as Deposit. And I'm happy to host you on this very important topic of today. We'll be taking a look at some national issues that affect the Nigerian people. And of course, I will also be taking a dive into the global scene and bringing you all the exciting news, all the breaking news, as will form basis for discussion on this morning show. Welcome to COPDEM Media TV. Before we proceed, please do well to subscribe to COPDEM Media TV so that we can have you as part of the fans and continue to provide you with the latest breaking news across the globe. This morning, we are taking a look at a number of 5 issues that have been itemized. Number one, ADC Directorate of Mobilization, Civil Societies, and Progressive Engagements has taken its national mobilization drive across Nigeria. You understand, during the initial MOU signed between COPDEM and ADC, COPDEM was saddled with the responsibility to mobilize Nigerians into ADC under the Directorate of Mobilization, Civil Societies, and Progressive Engagement. And it is on this note that all members of COPDEM are heavily involved in mobilizing Nigerians across the states and even internationally into the ADC, as well as galvanizing the obedient movement, the CPO membership base, as well as the big tent members to all be part of this ADC coalition. And of course, all P2B supporters have been mobilized into the party through the ADC Directorate of Mobilization and Civil Society Engagement, ably led by the director in person of Prince Wampan Jr., who recently gave his keynote address, where he addressed the press in Jos Plateau State, as he affirmed COPDEM willingness to mobilize over 5 million membership base of COPDEM members across the Federation into the ADC. So without taking much of our time, number 2 on the items that we are looking at this morning is terrorists from Kainji Lake. Kainji Lake is one of the swamp land in Niger State at Borgu, made up of a lot of forestry life, a lot of forest in that part. And it used to be one of the, social center where people travel for tourism, view life, wildlife, and have fun previously. But in the wake of terrorism in Nigeria since 2009 until this moment, it has become very worsened even in the Middle Delta region of Nigeria. Of course, it's no more a place for visitation. Rather, it has been taken over by terrorists. And these terrorists were reportedly said to have visited and destroyed markets at Kabe districts under Kainji. That's the Borgu local government. Kabe district market was destroyed. That was just yesterday by terrorists who were alleged to have come from the Kainji Lake National Park. That national park used to be national assets, where wildlife were trained, and as a matter of fact, there are institutes of wildlife in Borgu, and it was meant to train the young people on how to raise animals, how to interact with animals, how to take care of forests, national parks. But lately it has been taken over by terrorists in Kainji. And of course, the big story that is making the national as well as international headline is Nicolas Maduro. Nicolas Maduro, you understand, was the president rather of Venezuela, and the antecedents, the circumstances, the processes that brought him into office was flawed. And it is on that cases that he has attracted global attention, particularly the government of the United States, led by President Donald Trump, where he was accused of drug-related offenses, as well as the pathway that led him to presidency was flawed. We're taking a very deep dive into that. As a matter of fact, there's a commentary that we're taking on that subject matter. And number 4 on the item, P2B presidency, a joint project of all Nigerians. This statement is credited to who? The COPDEM movement. P2B presidency, a joint project of all Nigerians. This statement, of course, is credited to the COPDEM movement. And of course, Kwankwaso aligns with PO ahead of 2027. Kwankwaso was seen in a viral video where he was addressing the Kwankwasia movement about his intention to swing to the ADC coalition. He noted clearly that in 2023, he was approached, but for certain reasons, that could not go through. But this time around, having been betrayed in so many aspects, he has aligned himself with the coalition, and he is going to be making official declaration in that viral video, and he was being cheered by his massive organic supporters, the Confucians. So we look forward to having this come on board. Of course, this is part of the P2B effect in the ADC. You know, when there is genuineness, to attract people becomes so easy. So P2B has remained consistent over the years in his approach to public and national life. He is always advocated for a new Nigeria, where the son of a nobody can be somebody, where the economy can be well taken care of, where Nigerians don't need to go to bed hungry, having an arable, uncultivated land spread across the north. Of course, he has always been an advocate of productivity, and he has been very critical against the Tinubu-led administration for taxing Nigeria excessively. In his notable quote where he said, "You cannot tax poverty, you can only tax a productive economy, you can only tax a productive population." And this has not sit down well with the president, which they have persistently fueled attack against His Excellency Mr. Peter. Not a physical attack, but the e-talks who are on the payroll to ensure that they continue to malign the image of His Excellency Mr. Peter. But that will not stop him from doing what he's supposed to do, and that will not stop him as well from advocating for good governance. You understand that at this point, Nigerians deserve better. Nigerians cannot afford to have government that cannot even provide as basic as security. Security is the number one primary assignment of any sane government. Any government that fails to provide security has failed woefully. There is no two ways about it. So our commentary for this morning is Nicolas Maduro. Nicolas Maduro, as I've talked about much earlier, was the Venezuela president. As a matter of fact, I'll read out some of the history and how he emerged as a president of Venezuela. Nicolas Moros became president of Venezuela following Hugo Chavez's death in 2013. and declared victory in the presidential election in 2018. He was the vice president, right, to Hugo Chavez. And as a result of the demise of Hugo Chavez, he automatically became the president of Venezuela in 2013. And the National Assembly of Venezuela invoked the Venezuelan Constitution and declared that Maduro had usurped power. That was in 2018 because we came into a fraudulent election. The National Assembly invoked the powers they had as the representative of the people and declared that Maduro had usurped power to himself and was not the president of Venezuela. Since 2019, more than 50 countries, including the United States of America, have refused to recognize Maduro as the Venezuelan head of state. In the early 2024 Venezuelan presidential election, Maduro again declared himself the victor, despite evidence of the contrary. The United States had joined many other countries to refuse to acknowledge the outcome of that election. Maduro helped manage, the United States joined many other countries in refusing to recognize Maduro as the legitimately elected president in 2024 contested election. Maduro helped manage and ultimately lead to the cartel of the Suns, and a Venezuelan drug trafficking organization comprised of high-ranking Venezuelan officials. As he gained power in Venezuela, Maduro participated in a corrupt and violent narco-terrorism conspiracy with the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, FARC, a designated foreign terrorist organization. Maduro negotiated multi-ton shipments of FARC-produced cocaine, right? He negotiated the shipment of this FARC-produced cocaine, directed the cartel of the Suns to provide military-grade weapons to the FARC, coordinated with narcotics traffickers in Honduras, and other countries to facilitate large-scale drug trafficking, and solicited assistance from FARC leadership in training an unsanctioned military group that functioned in essence as an armed force unit of the cartel of the Suns. In March 2020, Maduro was charged in the Southern District of New York for narco-terrorism, conspiracy, as well as to import cocaine, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices. These are charges that Maduro was charged at the New York courts under the narco-terrorism case. After initially offering a renewed offer of up to $15 million for the information leading to the arrest and conviction of Maduro in 2020, the Department of State of the United States, on January 10, 2025, increased the reward offer to up to $25 million. On August 7, 2025, the Department of State announced They further increased in the offer to up to $50 million for any information that could lead to the arrest of Maduro. And after the Department of Treasury sanctioned cartel of sons as a specifically designated global terrorist organization on July 25, 2025, as a leader of cartel of sons, Maduro is the first target in the history of narcotic rewards program with a reward offer exceeding 25 million. That is, Maduro's case is the groundbreaking offer that exceeds the highest ever of $25 million to the tune of $50 million for an information leading to his arrest. And guess what? Just yesterday, it has been confirmed by the government of the United States of America via a live press conference at the White House, where President Donald Trump addressed the international communities, as well as the American people, on the arrest of Nicolas Maduro, who has been convicted of crime in the United States of America. And following the usurp of power as widely condemned by the Venezuelan parliament. On this note, these are the reasons why President Donald Trump ordered for the arrest of Maduro. Having said this, you cannot see clearly for yourself, and you cannot begin to compare and contrast the similarity between Nicolas Maduro and the man sitting in Nasoro in person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They have similar background in drug cartel. They have similar background in rigging election that led them to office. And they have similar background in trying to control state institutions, locking them down to their favor. As a matter of fact, Maduro dismissed existing security formation and empowered the narco aligned forces to take charge of our national security. That is how cartel operates. And the destination, or the outcome rather, of Nicolas Maduro, who has now ended up with justice in the hands of the United States of America, that can only give you a snippet of what is expected from 2027 for characters that are aiming to rig 2027 election. And looking at the antecedents of Bola Ahmed Tinubu having been involved in drug trafficking in Chicago and has been convicted in Chicago courts, which he forfeited over $460 million in attempt to not to go to jail. Having compared the background with Nicolas Maduro, you cannot see clearly that with the hostility of terrorism that is ravaging Nigeria, with the hostility of genocide that is ravaging Nigeria, with the bad government that is ravaging the country, and compare with the celebration that is taking place in Venezuela currently, having successfully evacuated the drug cartel, Nicolas Maduro, from the seat of power, and having allowed the will of the people to rule by ensuring that the people, the person whom the people actually voted for in the 2024 election is installed as the new president of Venezuela. You cannot relate that to 2027. Any character that is attempting to rig 2027 election should first of all go and take a look at what is happening to Nicolas Maduro. That would be the end point of such a character. I wouldn't want to be the one to enforce any decision here. My duty is to foresee what is to come and advise accordingly. And that is what I'm doing. So the less is the job is left for INEC, whether to do the will of the people or to receive the carrots, the carrot and stick approach from the United States of America. You understand, Gumi, on the other hand, has been crying that he has been fingered. That is the object of targets of the United States of America. My response to that is very simple and very clear. But Gumi, if you have not been entangling yourself with terrorists, you have nothing to fear. If your hands are clean, you have nothing to fear. President Donald Trump is not wielding airstrike on civilians that are going about their normal businesses. He is interested in wiping out terrorists and drug traffickers globally. And Nigeria is a paramount target to eliminate all terrorists across Nigeria and to eliminate all genocidal individuals. All financiers of terrorists are directly under the radar of the United States intelligence. No matter how long it may take, they will get to you. So, no time is too long, no time is too far, and no time is too bad to give up on your bad ways and repent. If you're able to give up on your bad ways and acknowledge all your wrongdoings, I believe there will be pathway to peace. But if you insist, then you wait for what comes your way. On this note, I want to thank you for staying true to the Insightful Morning Show. This is where we are going to draw the curtain for this morning. And thank you for staying true until I come your way tomorrow, 8 a.m. on the Insightful Morning Show, COPDEM Media TV. Do have a lovely day ahead of you. Bye-bye. I remain your host, Mr. Arthur Christian Ochen. And do remember to subscribe to COPDEM Media TV so that we can bring you more insightful programs and as well as the breaking news as it relates to socio-political issues across Nigeria and of course in the global scene. Thank you and bye-bye.